Hi, I'm Sue Ann Cordell from Shineworthy Lifestyles, and I thank you so much for joining me today for my podcast. I just want to, this is something that has been on my mind all week, and I just wanted to see if anyone else was thinking about this too. Have you been excited about something and you share it with a friend and they just don't have that same excitement? They start telling you all the reasons why it's not a good idea. They just don't seem to understand why you would even want to try it. Well, you had to get the courage to tell somebody you wanted to do something. And you finally get the courage to say, okay, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to be set and I'm going to go and I'm going to just share this with somebody, and they just kind of knock it down. I like to call those people naysayers. Have you had any of those in your life? You've worked really hard on something and you think it's going to be so good, and they just come along and knock it down. That's tough, isn't it? Well, today I want to talk about how to handle naysayers. First of all, I want to encourage you to love yourself enough to protect yourself. I want to encourage you to start thinking about your life and what you love to do and work on things that you really want to make happen. What matters to you? What are some of the most important things for you? Well, I will tell you, when I think back on my life about the things that I love to do that are really special for me, I get a special feeling in my heart and in my soul when I think about it. One of the things that I love to think about is my favorite jobs. And my very favorite job that I've ever had in the whole world, other than being a mother and a grandmother, is a piano teacher. I absolutely love teaching piano. I like to take someone who doesn't know anything about the keyboard at all, teach them where middle C is, then teach them how to play a scale and teach them how to read the notes. And the next thing you know, if they practice every day, they can start playing songs, they can start playing classical pieces, and before long, they are very well accomplished as pianists. I love that. I love to take someone that doesn't know anything about it and help them grow in that way. Now, it does require practice. And just like with anything else in life, it does require practice. Practicing every day will help you get to perfection in certain things. So in piano, that's one of the things that was really important. But I had a piano teacher one time, and I was practicing. And every single time I would get to this one measure in the song, and I couldn't quite get the timing right, she would really say things to me that just knocked me down. I'd like to say she was a good piano teacher, but she had a naysayer attitude every once in a while. And I know this sounds crazy, but even today, when I sit down at that particular piece of music, when I get to that measure in the song, I can still hear her, and I still have struggles with the timing on that one measure of the song. And I'm a piano major. I know the piano. I know the music. But there's something about that little naysayer that has always stifled me in that one song. Is there anything in your life that's happened with? You get excited about something and people just knock it down. Or you decide, you know what, I'm not going to pay attention to that anymore. I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm still going to push ahead, but you still have a hard time moving to that next step. You're lacking the confidence to move forward, and you're not even sure why, because you know you want to do it, but you're just afraid to try. Well, I think that we have that experience in a lot of areas in our lives. I know I do sometimes, and I have to fight it, and I'm guessing that you probably do or know somebody like that as well. So as you're thinking about naysayers in your life, I want you to really take the time to think about one of the naysayers that can be the most detrimental to you of all. Sometimes it's a teacher. Sometimes it's your parents. Sometimes it's your best friend. And you're all excited and they just knock down your idea. But you know who the one is that's the biggest problem for most people? It's the one in the mirror. We look in the mirror and we say, I can't do it. Who am I to think I could try to do that? Who am I that thinks they could actually start a business? Who am I to think I could write a book? Why would I think I would want to be a speaker? I can't do any of that. I tried once before. Who thinks that I could be in a great relationship? I tried and it didn't work. You know who that naysayer is that's your biggest enemy? It's the person in the mirror. I want you to take some time this week to just write down some of your accomplishments. I like to say, let's connect the dots. When you were a little boy or girl, what was it that you absolutely loved to do? Write it down. What is it as you were a teenager that still gave you a lot of excitement and energy when you would do it? Write it down. And then when you started your jobs, what was it about the job that you were in or are in now that brought you the most joy? Write it down. Now, the reason I want you to do that is because there's something inside of you that is your purpose. And those things that bring you the most joy are the things that you were designed to do. And all of us are designed to do amazing things. We really are. But something knocked us down when we were younger, and we look in that mirror and we think, I don't even think I should try. So instead of saying ready, set, go, we're saying ready, set, whoa, no, I can't do that. So I want to challenge you this week to work on trying to get to a place where you don't pay attention to the naysayers. What are your dreams? What are you excited about that you've just been afraid to start? It's not going to be perfect when you first start, but you have to start. A couple of years, I guess it's been about 4 years ago now, maybe 5. I can't keep up with the time on this, but I was sitting at a coffee shop with some friends, and I had something that was really important on my mind. And so I said to my friend that I was sitting next to, I said, you know, I just want to get this message out to people. I want them to understand that they don't need to be paying attention to the naysayers. And that was one of the things that we were talking about. And she said, you know what you should do? You should do a Facebook Live. I said, a what? She said, a Facebook Live. And I said, I know what a Facebook Live is, but I don't think I can do it. I just don't think I could do that. Well, I've been a speaker for years. I've been a performer on the piano for years. I've led a lot of clubs and a lot of organizations, but to get in front of a camera and do a Facebook Live, it's like, I don't think I can do this. The naysayer inside of me was saying, you can't do this. You can't do this. But I decided that I would do a challenge. I would challenge myself to do 30 straight days of Facebook Lives. And I did. And people started watching it. And they started following me. And I started getting invitations to speak in different places. But if I had listened to my naysayer inside of my head, I would have never done that. And look at the opportunities that I would have missed out on. Well, here I am now doing podcasts. Someone said to me, you should do a podcast. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this or not. But what was telling me that I couldn't do it or I wasn't sure I could do it? It wasn't my friends. It wasn't anybody else. It was inside of my head. the perfectionism, the procrastination, all of the things that can happen sometimes when you're trying to come up with an excuse. So I want to challenge you this week to write down, first of all, 3 things that you really want to do, but you've been afraid to try. Just write them down. Every day, write down, I want to, but I'm afraid to try. Do that every day this week. And then right after you do that, I want you to write down, but why not try anyway? That's the challenge for this week. And then just start. This podcast isn't going to be perfect today. The things that you try aren't going to be perfect. But if you never start, you'll never know. If not today, when? I like it when people say, but why would you want to do that? The answer should be, why not? Why wouldn't I want to do that? We only live on this earth one time. Let's don't be miserable doing it. If you've got a dream inside here and you've been afraid to step out and do something with it, don't listen to the naysayers around you. And it could be that it's a naysayer from the past that's still haunting you. I'm going to tell you one more quick little story on that. My mother, who just passed away this year at the age of 91, when she was a young girl, she had a beautiful, beautiful soprano voice. And she was singing in a choir in high school, and a friend leaned over to her and says, why are you singing so loud with that scratchy voice? Guess what? My mother decided she couldn't sing after all. And for years, she wouldn't even try because of the naysayer. Well, she got older. She was probably in her 40s, and somebody asked her to sing a solo one day. And she decided to try it. And my mother had a beautiful, beautiful voice. And she did it. And everyone was so happy and loved her voice. But for all those years, because of a naysayer in the past that had haunted her in her head, she wouldn't try. But she had the opportunity at that point when people recognized her beautiful voice. She was able to start singing in duets. She was singing in choirs. She was even invited to sing at people's weddings because she had a beautiful voice. What are you holding back because you think, because of something somebody said in the past or what you've told yourself isn't good enough? You haven't even tried. Another thing that's happened to me sometimes, and probably to you too, you can have several people come up to you and say, hi, you look so good today. I love that color that you're wearing. And you say, thank you. And you start feeling really good about the way you look. And then one person comes up to you and says, are you doing okay? You look a little pale. Are you feeling okay today? Now, out of all those people that complimented you, which one of those are you going to pay attention to? You're going to go into the bathroom or into the bedroom and you're going to look at that mirror and you're going to be like, maybe I don't look so good after all. I heard a saying one time that was like this: it takes 10 attaboys to make up for one gotcha. And that one gotcha can get you, right? So I want to challenge you this week to write down 3 things that you really want to do, that you've been afraid to try. And then I want you to write down, why not try now? And then just start. And I'm excited because one of the things that we're going to be doing at Shineworthy Lifestyles starting in July is we are starting a community called Shineworthy Collective. And in this community, we are inviting people to subscribe and become a member because we're going to be together encouraging each other. If you've been afraid to try something and you just need somebody around you to encourage you, we'll be there for you. If you just need some advice on how to get started on something, we'll be there for you. We just want to offer a positive approach to life and allow people to have the confidence to move forward and find the clarity to shine. That's really what this is all about. Thank you so much for your time today. I've got one thing I want to share with you before we leave today that I think could give you just a little more encouragement as you go through this week. I wrote a book several years ago called Simplify. And in this book, it's just talking about how to simplify your life in so many different areas. And it's called Simplify, A Life Anchored in Purpose. And in this book, there's a poem that some of you have probably heard before, but I think it's very good for us to just have this reminder today as we close out this podcast session. There was a sign at a children's home in Calcutta, and I saw this in a book that was written by Mother Teresa called Simple Faith. And the name of this poem is Anyway, and here's how it goes. People are unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. You guessed it. Build anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you've got anyway. Thank you so much. I just hope that this week you will have the confidence to move forward and the clarity to shine. Have a great day.